And I'm back with another review for you guys today. Today we're on Black Ops 3 for the first time. I didn't really feel like doing Rainbow, really didn't feel like doing MWR, IW, you know, any of those regular games, AW. And I haven't made a Black Ops 2 commentary in a while, so I thought I'd just make one here. Today is actually the day after the tournament. If you guys didn't watch yesterday's video, I participated in a Rainbow Six Siege tournament here in my city with a couple friends. Just like, it was kind of outside the city, really far from where I live at least, and we just played, had some fun, and thankfully we actually fucking won the tournament. We played really well. We didn't drop a map to anyone, which is really weird in my opinion. We did plan to do so well that we actually fucking won the tournament, but we didn't drop a map, and we didn't lose that many rounds. I think in the whole tournament we lost like 3 rounds that whole tournament, so it's cool to see that our hard work and training paid off. I'm just going to give you a little bit of a rundown of how the tournament ran down, since this was a really odd tournament in my place. So how the place is set up, I'm going to stop playing here for a little bit. Once I get this kill, I'm going to go into the tournament, or a little corner right here. After I get this motherfucker. He's going to get cocky. And I'm going to be confident. Okay, I'm going to hide back here into the guys. Anyway, they have these 2 stations with 8 monitors each. What they're doing is doing the outside 5 monitors. The outside 5 monitors, so you can't really like turn over and see someone behind you, see where they're at, if it's like a 1v1 situation. So teams were playing on opposite sides of the stations, 5v5, and it was, for some reason, it was first to 3, which is really weird, since I think that's what casual goes to, first to 3 rounds. A defensive, offensive, and another defensive, or offensive, defensive, offensive, depending on which side you start on. And best of 3, obviously. And you know, it was the rounds were like 3 minutes long, which is a little bit unusual. It was basically ranked rules, but on casual settings. So I mean, it was kind of weird, but it was okay. It made the matches shorter. A lot of people, since obviously Rainbow Six has like operators and stuff like that, and depending on how much you play the game, you either have all the operators or have very limited amount of operators. Not that many people even played Xbox, so they didn't even have operators all that much. So what we ended up happening is that a lot of people just signed into their accounts, and most of the people there had, you know, pretty good amount of characters, or at least had the characters that they used. And what the orchestrators wanted to have is they wanted everybody to use the same account, but obviously attachments are preference, game settings are preference, so everybody just ended up signing on to accounts, and sometimes people just left their accounts on there and people would use other people's accounts, which is totally fine. Like I know a shit ton of people use my account since I have all the operators, and I have like a pretty good setup in my opinion. I have a pretty good setup on my guns. Everybody seems to like mine. Angels, Arenas on Bunses, and Harmful Tacos setups for his guns. So they just use R3's accounts for the most part to play the tournament if they didn't have any good characters unlocked. So we ended up playing on our accounts. We ended up just doing a party chat. It was technically online, but they did have LAN cables. I don't know if the LAN cables were in effect. We didn't really have TeamSpeak or any of that. So all we had was parties, but I think it was LAN technically, since we were all on the same host. And we ended up just going through maps. It was a very limited map selection. All they had was House, Plane, and Hartford Base, which are the 3 smallest maps, and obviously they did that for time's sake. They really didn't want you know, long ass big maps and where you have to like really focus and like set up and everything. So they did that for time's sake, and that the matches would go a little bit faster, since the matches were going pretty slow, to be honest. But yeah, we ended up always for the first, we played 5 games in total, and we were in winner's bracket the whole way through. We won through winner's bracket. We didn't drop a whole map, and we dropped like 3 rounds the whole map. So let me just go through the first map we played. The first map we played was Hartford Base, and since it's not ranked rules, so let's say on rank, what you would normally do, let's say you pick an area and you win a round on that area, you can no longer choose that area since you've already won on there. But if you lose, you can play it again and try to win on it again. That was not the case on any of these matches, so what people ended up doing is playing the same areas over and over and over again. So on Hartford Base, everybody went Armory. On Plane, which was the other map that you could play, everybody went either upstairs or downstairs or office room. Always, always, always. And on House, people always went Garage, or they went master bedroom. So those are the 3 maps that we got to play. Those are the 3 areas everybody was playing. The couple areas everybody was playing. So everybody was just really playing it strong. Thankfully, in the rotations of games, we got Hartford Base on our first 4 maps, and then we got House, our last map, which is the very final game that we played for the tournament. But the first round we played against a team called Savages. And what this team did, there were so many teams that they automatically second rounded our team. So we didn't have to go through a first round to get into second round. So a winner from the first round would go up and play against us, right? And we were playing under the name Sitting Ducks. If you guys play Rainbow Six Siege, if you guys watch competitive Rainbow Six Siege, you know that they were a pretty good team. They consisted of a bunch of great players. I'm not so sure if they're even a team anymore, but we went under the team Sitting Ducks. It was me, Angel, Corey, my brother, and Bark. I'll leave all their channels down in the description. But we played Hartford base. We would always go Armory since we did defend twice and offend once. We played Armory both times, obviously, since it was the easiest to defend, easiest to counter. So we ended up playing it really well. All we did was just run our basic setup. We weren't so sure coming into the tournament if they were going to have DLC maps or DLC characters allowed. So they ended up having DLC characters allowed, but they didn't have any maps, since it was a limited map selection. So that was good that we only practiced on the default maps. We played Hartford base, we played Armor really well. We 3-0'd the first guys named Savages. They were a bunch of little kids. They were from, they were like a bunch of middle schoolers. But we destroyed the team called Savages. They were a bunch of middle schoolers. It was an easy 3-0 sweep against them. They didn't know what to do when they got to our base. We did not let them have any information. We just 3-0, nice clean sweep. But I felt bad for them since they didn't know that it was double elimination. There was double elimination, so technically we could lose and go back to the tournament and win during the losers bracket, but we obviously had to play harder people and play a little bit harder. But anyway, we beat them. They didn't know what a second round was, the losers bracket was, so they ended up leaving their opponents in the second round to just advance up, which is totally okay. One less match for us to watch. And then our second map was also Hartford base. We played against a team called Copper 5, and the lowest ranking on Rainbow Six Siege is Copper 5, so it was kind of a pun to play against them. And we ended up beating them. They were really quiet. They were much older dudes, and we ended up just beating the shit out of them. You're going to hear Gus yelling. We just beat the shit out of them, 3-0 sweep. And then the next game we played against Buff Giraffes, and Buff Giraffes was our winners finals match. Yeah, winners finals match to get into finals. And they had clutched up to get into that winners finals game against us. They pulled out a Tachanka. If you guys don't know what a Tachanka is, it's a really sketchy play. Not that many people use it, but he used it and ended up winning them the round. So that was kind of cool that he ended up using that cool LMG to his advantage. And he ended up picking up a couple people. And they were playing against a team that nobody wanted to play against. They weren't good by any means. They were just clicking together, and they beat the shit out of the first two people they played. Both of the games that they played before, really close rounds, but they were all randoms. They were barely teaming with each other. They didn't know what they were doing. So we were so grateful that we didn't have to play them, and then Buff Drafts beat them so that we didn't have to play them. So eventually we got into the finals, beating Buff Giraffes. It was a 3-1 since they got a round off us. They got the second round off of us. So we beat them. It was pretty easy. And we were just sitting there at finals. And between each of these games, there was like a good 2 hours. They were not consecutive games. They didn't have really good planning. They obviously had to let every team play. And the thing about what I saw a lot of the people playing is that they were all being too cautious. I mean, sometimes you have to be cautious, but for our playstyle, we're not assholes. We're not going to go for spawn peeks. So they were checking every single window to make sure that they weren't getting spawn peeked. Eventually, Curry, I'll leave him down in the description, he spawn peeked a couple guys, but I mean, those were easy kills. He was getting what he could get, right? And I mean, we're going to play Fringe again. Okay, cool. But he was just getting the kills, obviously. It was just me, and Angel getting carried most of the time. I know Barkington, Bark, and Corey were basically getting kills. They were basically MVP. Me, my brother, and Angel were just holding down areas, defending as best as we possibly could. And I don't have a reticle, goddammit. But I think out of the whole tournament, I got like 3 kills, honestly. My aim was pretty shit, but I was holding down the land. I was giving good callouts. I was just watching cameras. I was being just a supportive player throughout the whole tournament. I could have gotten one more, but I didn't aim at her fast enough. And all of these kids, since we are playing on land, the reaction times are insane, so I wasn't surprised if I didn't get kills and got more. I got killed more than I got kills. But anyway, in the finals game, which was probably the most exciting game that we played, we watched a lot of 2-2s go down and come down to the last round. But what happened to us in the last map, we had played House, and that's a map we did not play on, but we saw a lot of people play on that map. So we already knew what to expect, how people were going to play, what areas they were going to play, and what specialists they were going to use. And what was cool is that our matches were so spread apart that we were able to watch our opponent in the finals, which was Copper 5. We had beat them in the second round. That forced them to losers bracket. But we ended up rematching them on house instead of Hartford base. That was pretty cool playing against them. We already knew how they played. They already knew how we played, which then brings me to my next point, that they brought us to 2-0. They were 1 round away from beating us on 1 map, but for losers in the finals game, they had to beat us twice. They had to beat us on 2 maps. So the 2 maps that we were going to play, if we ended up going to the 2 maps, was going to be house and then Hartford base. We had not played house all that tournament, and then we had played Hartford base all that tournament. So we were kind of thinking, if we weren't going to win house, we were going to win Hartford base. They were going to have momentum on their side, and we were going to have momentum on their side. So it was just going to be a close game on Hartford base, but I did think we were going to be able to pull it off. On house, we were down 2-0, and I was kind of thinking in the back of my mind, we're going to drop the map, sadly. It's okay. We still got Hartford base. We'll be okay for another map. And at this point, it's been like 12 hours. We got there at 1. I got there at 1 my time, of course, Mountain time. And we ended up leaving there. Last round finished up around 11. So, and it's a Sunday night too. I mean, I don't have school. I'm on spring break. That's why I'm bringing you this video kind of late. Most of these videos this week are going to be kind of late, to be honest. But yeah, I had to drag my mom out of sleep. I ended up going to Corey's house, and then my mom came to pick me up. And she has work in the morning, so that's really unfortunate for her. And it was just a cool tournament. We won. It was 2-0, and then we thought to ourselves, okay, we're going to win 3 rounds straight. We're going to take it home. We're not going to drop a map. We're not going to drop this many rounds this whole tournament. And that's what ended up what we doing. We won 3 rounds straight, won the tournament. You know, reverse sweep, optic styles, a lot of people want to say it or call it. Damn, this fucking FFHR is insane. But yeah, we reverse sweeped them 3 rounds straight. It was pretty great, to be honest. We just played our normal rounds. When we were defending, we picked garage, and that's what everybody likes to choose on defending. So we're like, you know what? Everybody that plays garage is gonna get destroyed in garage. There was so much errors you can make on all these maps, especially plane. We really didn't want to play plane all that much, because on this map, on plane, your mistakes, like even the simplest mistake could literally cause you the game. You put up a mirror and you let a twitch destroy that mirror, and it causes you that whole defensive stance. So we really didn't want to play plane. We're so thankful we didn't play plane, because plane is one of our iffier maps. We never seem to get a break on plane. We win our games, our ranked games, but we always have that little iffiness about that map. And we had our iffiness about the map since the people we were playing, they were using mirrors, they were double defending. It was really just a scummy match how everybody was playing. I can't blame them. I mean, you got to do what you got to do to win. But I mean, they could have, you know, had some sportsmanship. We could have come up with some rules, some like community guidelines that we all could have followed on a certain map. So we were okay. I mean, I didn't do so hot the whole tournament. I dropped like 3 kills the whole tournament, all 5 maps. And 2 of them, the 2 kills that I got consecutively were really good. Honestly, I just rushed them, got 1, and then I rushed the second guy, got a headshot, and it was really cool. That solidified us. It was like 5-1 after I got those 2 kills. That was super lit. But yeah, I'm thankful that we didn't get plane. I really am. I really didn't want to play that map. And we played the 2 maps that we probably love the most. On ranked, we love playing house and Hartford base, but Hartford base isn't played all that much, but we knew how to play it really well since year 1. So we're thankful that we won the tournament. The payout wasn't as great as I thought. It was only $25 out of the $400 that the company probably made from the whole thing. They had food, so they could have made even extra profit, which kind of sucks, but I mean, it's okay. I mean, I really wasn't focused on the money as much as I was on the competition and being the best in my city. So I'm really thankful for that we got to play. And Corey, I'm so glad that we picked him up. I wish we would have got Juan to play with us. We only literally had 1 day of practice with Corey, and you know, he was just doing his own thing. He was playing with us instead of playing by himself, which we were afraid of once we picked him up for that 1 day of practice. But it was all good. We won all our games of practice pretty well. We did have some connection issues, but it was all good. We all lived in the same city, so our friends are always great to have in tournaments. But yeah, we basically just won. We were really happy. I mean, we've grinded so long. I made the joke, 1 more map and I can go back to playing Call of Duty, which is back what I'm doing right now. I'm going to be grinding later on today for some Exclusion Zone. I'm probably going to be streaming a little bit of it on SMGs. I'm probably just going to go get Regal on SMGs today. And then I might continue playing this game to reach 130. As you guys can see, I'm 128. I want to reach 130 today. Just for no reason, I just felt like being that rank right now. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching the video. I'm about to finish this game up. I'm really happy that I got my first tournament win, my first professional gaming win with a payout and everything like that. I have competed a couple times in Call of Duty tournaments, like at the midnight releases of Call of Duty. They always have tournaments here in my GameStops, or if you win, you get like a free season pass or a little bit of money or something. I got last kill there, cool. Something. So hopefully when this next Call of Duty comes out, I'm going to be competing in a tournament. Probably won't vlog that one either. I didn't vlog this one since I really didn't feel the need to vlog. It was strictly business. I know I will be vlogging Anaheim for sure. I just need to get a better lens and a microphone for the camera, but that's all about it. And then we'll be good for vlogs. Basically, probably once a week vlogs and then, regular Call of Duty gaming videos. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys next one. Peace.